People are always talking about Mercedes and their race cars. After they didn't understand the 2022 car rules very well, the team was ready to build a comeback car called the W14. They wanted to win races and get Hamilton his 8th championship. But after they tested the car in Bahrain before the season started, it was clear that the team still didn't have a fast enough car. The new car design will probably keep having problems in the coming time too. Also, there are reports saying Mercedes made a really big basic mistake with the W14 that has to do with the engine. Hamilton and Russell won't be very happy when they find out about this during the off-season. We heard about lots of different changes they made to the W14. For example, the front wing design was kind of controversial when they first used it during the US race in 2022. They changed it a bit to make sure it follows the rules. Now, Mercedes thinks they'll get a huge boost in how the air flows around the car compared to 2022. But this is the part that Mercedes is most excited about for the 2023 season. The side part design gave the team a lot of hope when they showed off the car. Mercedes decided to go even further with their no-pod side part design. Now, it looks even thinner compared to what we saw in 2022. Hamilton wasn't very happy with how the car acted last year. If there's something he would change on the W14, it's the side part design. But the smart people at Mercedes think the car isn't losing speed because of the side part design. That's why they decided to make it even more extreme. However, the testing in Bahrain showed that Mercedes isn't as fast as they want to be. But Toto Wolff told us that the team hasn't shown all their speed yet. This basically means they were hiding their true performance during testing in Bahrain. One thing that Ted Kravitz says went really wrong for Mercedes while making the W14 is that they haven't been able to get the most out of their engine during the freeze development time. Since last year, teams aren't allowed to improve their engines until the beginning of the 2026 season. This means teams have to work with what they already have. Getting more power out of an existing engine is going to be much harder for teams to do. That's why Vassar laughed at the claims that the Ferrari team managed to get 30 more horsepower compared to 22.2. The first rumors about the W14 engine were that it was more powerful with 10 more horsepower. But no official person has said if this is true or not. However, one thing the team probably missed is setting up their engine perfectly for the upcoming season. This is going to be a huge problem for the Brackley team if this turns out to be true. When talking about this, Ted Kravitz said this is interesting since the sport has an engine freeze until 2026. There's a theory going around the paddock that because Mercedes engines were reliable last year, they missed a chance to design them to be powerful but not reliable. Then they could fix the reliability problems, which was allowed until September last year. Lots of other engine makers did that. Renault did that. Ferrari did that. Honda did that. It meant they couldn't finish the season without using an extra engine and getting a penalty. But they didn't mind that because they could bring changes to the engine for reliability, but also secretly add a bit more power too. Kravitz also said that when an engine maker says they want to bring in a fixed part like MGUH or whatever helps the team make the engine more reliable, this information gets shared with all the other engine makers, so everyone knows what their competitors are doing. But that doesn't mean engine makers can't add a little bit more power while saying it's for reliability. So where's the problem? If you ask Mercedes, they would say they built the engine to last the whole season. For their customers Aston Martin and Williams, they didn't take an engine penalty on any of their drivers with the 3 power unit parts. While this is worth clapping for, it's clear that the engine isn't giving the best performance compared to Honda, Renault, and Ferrari. This is where Kravitz argues that Mercedes missed the perfect chance to upgrade their engine power. He concluded by saying you might think, wait, you should have gone the other way. You should have gone for more performance, taken the hit on engine penalties with reliability, but been able to improve that under the engine freeze. But that's not what Mercedes did, and only time will tell if Mercedes will regret this choice. Where does it end for Mercedes? The Brackley team has already hinted that the 2023 season definitely won't be theirs from the start. While we're excited to see what the team has planned for the second half of the season, it's not really guaranteed to us. There are teams that have managed to be much better in race speed and long-term performance in Bahrain, like Aston Martin. To make things worse, the design of the car also hasn't been put together very well with the rest of the car. Now the W14 probably won't get the most out of the engine either. We've seen that Verstappen was able to win races by starting in 14th and 7th place after taking a new engine. So, if Mercedes had a lot of trust in how powerful their engine is, then they shouldn't be scared of the penalties that come with it. Of course, it's very nice when a team has an engine that doesn't break. But if it's not fast, then it's not helping you at all. Both Horner and Binotto said earlier last year that they'd rather work on a fast but unreliable engine than a slow and reliable one. This is because of the hidden potential that's hiding in the first version of the engine. Now, Mercedes will start the season as a team that will probably fight for third place in the team championship. What doesn't look good for them is that they'll probably hope for other teams' reliability problems just so they can grab a podium finish. For the first race in Bahrain, it's very questionable whether Mercedes can actually go there and fight for the win. This is something that Russell has pointed out, and it's dealt another blow to Mercedes fans' hopes. When talking about it, the young British driver said, "I think we definitely believe eventually we will have a car capable of getting in that fight. Whether we're going to have that next weekend in Bahrain, I think maybe that's a bit of a stretch." Red Bull look very strong, they look very stable. The car is looking really strong, and obviously Verstappen is performing really well. So I think realistically it will be a stretch for next week, but there is no reason why eventually we can't get there at some point this year. The good feelings aren't at a high level in Hamilton either. The 7-time world champion added that the car, although it feels better compared to 2022, has some problems left over from the previous season. One of the biggest issues that the W14's older brother had to beat and failed to do were the increased drag and bouncing. While the bouncing has been fixed thanks to new rules and new setups, the drag problem is still there in the car's performance. On the other hand, the car has developed a bit of a stability problem. This is why Ted Kravitz doesn't believe that Mercedes will have fixed their issues from 2022, while we're more than happy to see Mercedes back in the fight and the Brackley team providing a proper 3-team battle at the front. This is very unlikely to happen. Alonso and Aston Martin are the favorites to stand on the podium. So this brings up the question of whether Hamilton will be ready to sign the latest contract deals that have been offered to him. The talks have started and Hamilton hasn't committed to Mercedes yet. As things stand right now, it doesn't seem like Mercedes has what it takes to beat their challenges and give Hamilton and Russell a championship-winning car. What do you think about the missed opportunity for Mercedes to boost their engine? Let us know in the comments below.